So this is the solution for you. Convert your passive vocabulary into the active one using all the 4 solutions that I've told you today in this particular lesson. Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English, improving your speaking skills and vocabulary with me. Oh yes, today's lesson is going to be a vocabulary lesson. Now it's very important to improve our vocabulary, and in order to do that, we need to increase our active vocabulary, and today's lesson is going to be a secret lesson. Yes, I'm going to tell you the secret to convert your passive vocabulary into the active one. How to do that? How to convert your passive vocabulary into your active vocabulary. It's very important. A lot of times we learn so many words, we are learning new words, but we are not aware of the fact that we are compiling it into the passive vocabulary. Now, passive vocabulary is something that you're not comfortable to use. You have passive vocabulary that you're not comfortable in using. You know the word, it's familiar, it's there, you know the meaning, but you never use it. You are so reluctant in using that, you're not confident enough to use that. Whereas active vocabulary is something that you're comfortable to use. You can use it spontaneously. Whenever you're speaking something in English, you're able to use the word spontaneously. And we are going to learn how to convert that passive vocabulary we are carrying with us into the active one. Because if you're able to convert your passive vocabulary into active, believe me, you will be speaking much more fluent English, because we never realize how much of passive vocabulary we are carrying with ourselves. And if we are able to convert that into the active one, our vocabulary will be automatically improved. So this is something very important. Are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. And before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you do not miss out on any lesson that I post for you on the channel. Please like the video and share it with your friends too. Coming back to today's lesson, how to convert your passive vocabulary into the active one, active vocabulary. So let's begin with the lesson then. So passive vocabulary, as I've already told you, is the vocabulary that you're not comfortable in using. For example, the word famished. You might not use famished a lot, but you might use hungry. So hungry is more comfortable for you to use. That's your active vocabulary. Famished is the same word, a more advanced word for hungry. You might know the word, but you're not able to use it. You do not use it. So that's your passive vocabulary. For example, let's take another word, flabbergasted. We know about this. This is a very famous word, and these days it's trending. Flabbergasted. That means to be extremely astonished. But astonished, even astonished, I have seen that people are not able to use the word astonished, even though they know the meaning. You know the meaning of astonished, I'm sure about it. Still, they're not able to use it because it's in their passive vocabulary. That means they are not habitual enough of using it. And because they are not habitual enough of using it, they are not comfortable enough to use it in a sentence while speaking. Now, surprised. Surprised is the word. Astonished and flabbergasted means surprised, but they are more advanced. Although we know them, still we are not comfortable in using them. Now, the word surprised, are you able to use it easily? Obviously, you are able to use it easily. You know the meaning, yes. And when you want to speak it in a sentence, will you be able to speak it? The answer is again yes, obviously. So that means this is your active vocabulary. Active vocabulary. Now, what we need to do in order to convert the passive vocabulary that we are carrying with ourselves. So for that, I have some solutions for you. And the solution number 1 is to use the words instantly. You have to use all the words that you're learning instantly. You are learning new words. For example, you must have learned the word famished at one point, the word dilemma at some point, the word flabbergasted at some point, but are you using it? No. So instantly use it. Whenever you learn a word, you have to use it. That means you have to use it in some sentences. You have to make some sentences, form some sentences, use the word, try using it, try thinking about situations in which you can use the word, try imagining the situation related to that particular word. For example, famished. Think about how hungry you are. If you're at the extreme level of hunger, oh my god, I cannot control, that means famished. When you associate things, little things, with these words, be able to remember them, and you'll be able to use them too. So try creating some situation around the words. Imagine in which context you can use the word. Imagine in which situation you can use this particular word. For example, dilemma, you can use it at your workplace. You can say, that's a dilemma for me. I have not decided yet. That means it's a confusion. You're in a dilemma. You're not able to decide, right? So you can create some situations. You can use it in some sentences and use the word. And whenever you are faced with an opportunity to use the word in the real life situation, not just your speaking practice, but the real life situation, try using that word. Because if you're scared to use it, you'll always be scared to use it. And as the time passes, you will convert it into your passive vocabulary. The more delay in the usage of the word, it'll become passive vocabulary. So if you want to make it active, start using it. Start using it instantly. Solution number two. Well, solution number two is recognizing the words you're not able to use. Now you have to recognize which words you're not able to use. You are familiar with the words, you know the words, but you're not able to use them whenever you're speaking, or you're not so sure about the pronunciation, not so sure about the meaning, or maybe you're not so sure about the usage, how to use it, how to form a sentence correctly using that particular word. So you have to recognize those words. You'll be able to recognize them. For example, you want to speak something, you might be confused about that word you want to use. That means it's a passive word. It's there in your passive vocabulary. Note it down. You need to note down these words so that you can convert them into the active vocabulary. That's the first step. Recognizing those words, recognizing the passive vocabulary. So spot the words, recognize the words you are not able to use properly, that are there in your passive vocabulary, so that you can convert them into your active vocabulary later on, because this is very important. If you're not able to spot them, then how are you going to convert it into the active one? So it's very important for you to recognize these words. If you're recognizing them, you'll be able to work on them. So recognize and note them down so that you can work on them later on. Later on, so that you can use them, work on them whenever you are improving your English. Solution number three. Well, solution number three is to speak the words out loud. So whatever word you have selected, whatever word you are able to recognize, you need to speak them out loud. And whenever you're learning a new word, at that time too, you have to speak the word out loud. Why is the word your passive vocabulary? Because you are not habitual of speaking them out loud. You do not have enough speaking practice. You have not made yourself habitual of speaking those words out loud. So what we are doing here is we are making ourselves habitual of speaking the word out loud, because once you're habitual of speaking it, once you are sure about the pronunciation, it'll be easier for you to use it whenever you are presented with the opportunity to use it in a real life situation. That is, when you're having a conversation, you want to use it when you're saying something, you'll be able to use it comfortably. Why? Because you have prior practice of speaking the word and you're confident enough to use it. You're confident enough to speak it, and you're making your mouth muscles habitual of using the word, speaking it out loud. So it's very important for you to speak the word out loud. Speak it out loud for 3 to 5 times continuously. Speak the word, speak it out loud. And then look at some example sentences which are given maybe on Cambridge Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary. Go to these dictionaries. You'll find some example sentences related to the word. Speak those sentences out loud. Speak them. This is going to make you habitual of using the word in a sentence and also speaking it. Not just forming sentence, but speaking the sentence. Because the problem is you're not able to speak the word. That is, you're not able to use the word while speaking. That's why it's in your passive vocab. So this is the best way to convert your passive vocabulary into the active one, by speaking those words out loud. So do this whenever you spot a passive vocab word, just speak it out loud. Solution number 4. Well, last solution for today. Solution number 4 is to write example sentences. Writing example sentences. Just take a notebook, a notepad, a journal like this one. Take a book, take a journal, take something up and write 3 to 4 example sentences. That is, you have to create them on your own. You cannot copy it from Cambridge Dictionary or the Oxford Dictionary or maybe the Macmillan Dictionary. No, you cannot copy them. You have to create your own sentences, form your own sentences and write them down. Once you are done, now it is the time for you to speak them one by one. So speak the sentence number 1 out loud, then sentence number 2 out loud, then sentence number 3 out loud. And repeat this process 4 to 5 times. For example, you are saying, there was this big dilemma around the appointment of the new president. Then sentence number 2, then sentence number 3. Then again you have to repeat the process. There was this big dilemma about the appointment of the new president. Then sentence number 2, then sentence number 3. So repeat this process 3 to 4 times. Now what will happen is, when you're writing it, you are gaining confidence to use it. You're practicing using the word in a sentence on your own. Before this, what you did was, you took help of pre-formed sentences. Now they were ready-made sentences given to you by Cambridge Dictionary. But you should know how to use it in a sentence. So it's very important for you to practice forming sentence yourself on your own. And that is what you're doing in this particular step, that you are writing down sentences that are created by you. You are forming the sentences and you're speaking them out loud, because whatever you are forming, you should also be able to speak it. And you're also giving yourself some kind of speaking practice related to that very word, related to the particular word. Now again, very important step that you need to take in order to convert your passive vocabulary into the active one. With this, you will be definitely able to convert all your passive words into your active words. These 4 steps are guaranteed solutions for this particular problem, that you have too much passive vocabulary and you're not able to convert it into the active vocabulary. So this is the solution for you. Convert your passive vocabulary into the active one using all the 4 solutions that I've told you today in this particular lesson. So that is it. That was the lesson for today. I'm sure this is going to help you a lot. You must have lots of words there with you that you're not able to use. Please make a list and follow all the 4 solutions that I've told you today. I'm sure you're going to see huge improvement. And believe me, if you're able to convert your passive vocabulary into the active one, your vocabulary will automatically be improved a lot, because as I've told you, there are so many words we are familiar with that we do not know that, oh, we know this word. Whenever we come across that word, we're like, we are familiar with this word. Yeah, this is the word. I've heard this word. Or I might have even used this word. You are in that particular state. And if you are in this particular state a lot of times related to a lot of words, then that means you have so much passive vocab and you need to convert it into the active one. So follow all the solutions and convert your passive vocabulary into the active one to improve your vocab and speak English fluently. So that's it for today. Now I'm going to meet you next time with a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.